Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. My name is Bradford Best, and today is August 1st, 2016. And I'm going to go over the FanDuel slate tonight and just give you my thoughts and ideas about, how you could possibly make your lineup to win some money tonight. It's an 8-game slate, and of course, the pitching position is the most important position in FanDuel because it has the most point upside. And for tonight, for tournaments and GPP at pitcher, my favorite pitcher for tonight is Kyle Hendricks for the Chicago Cubs. He's priced at 9,100. I realize it may be a kind of contrarian pick, but the things that I like about Hendricks is this season he's 7-1 at home with a 1.36 ERA. So he's a good pitcher at home, and I like the win security because I believe that the Cubs are in a good position to win for him to get that 12 points. If you look at his game log, let's see, his last home game against the New York Mets, he had 52 fantasy points. On July 15th, he had 39 fantasy points against the Texas Rangers. And I'm just looking through his game log. On June 19th, he had 63 fantasy points against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he definitely had the potential to put up that 40, 50, and even 60-point upside. Now, I realized by going with Kyle Hendricks, I'm fading a lot of other top-tier pitchers that I'll talk about. Chris Archer, he definitely is a player that a lot of people probably would pick tonight. He has high strikeout upside, but he's been too inconsistent for me. And through my research, a lot of the Kansas City Royals batters, they have like a good batter versus pitcher statistics against him. So although Chris Archer could possibly be a good tournament play tonight, and I couldn't blame you if you pick him. For me personally, I'm just staying away from him because I just don't like his inconsistency, and I just don't feel the win security is as high in the Tampa Bay versus Kansas City game compared with the Cubs. Another top tier pitcher that I'm obviously fading tonight is Danny Salazar for the Cleveland Indians. I think he's a great tournament play because the Twins are putting out a rookie pitcher out there who has an ERA over 10. So the Cleveland Indians, they're in good position to win this game tonight. Salazar, the last time he played the Minnesota Twins, I believe he had 63 fantasy points. So Salazar is another good play, but I'm just going to try to pivot from that and go with Hendricks, save a little money, save $1,000 worth of salary, and I rather prefer to play Hendricks over Salazar. And the other stud pitcher that I'm obviously fading tonight is Steven Strasburg. For one, I don't like pitchers on the road. I just feel it's like a risky move to do whenever you do that. But Strasburg, he could definitely have a good game. He averaged the most fantasy points out of all the pitchers on the slate tonight. He only got one loss this season, so he's a good play. But I just feel that Hendricks has the same point upside, and you get to save $2,000 less. So Hendricks, he would be my favorite tournament play for tonight. Other pitchers on the slate, I think Jimmy Nelson could be a sneaky play. The Padres lineup is kind of hurt right now with Dickerson being hurt. They traded away Upton. They traded away Kemp. So their lineup is kind of weak in a pitcher's ballpark. So if you want to get real risky, Nelson could be a sneaky play. And that's about it that I see as far as considerations at the pitcher positions tonight for tournaments and GPPs. So Kyle Hendricks, that's the person I'm gonna go with. Moving on to the catcher position. At catcher, I didn't really see a lot of good options on the board tonight, so I think this would probably be a position that I punt at. And my punt play at the catcher position is going to be Mike Zunino for the Seattle Mariners. His price is still low, a righty versus lefty matchup, and going against Rodriguez of the Boston Red Sox. And Zeno, he got a little pop in his bat. Seattle was one of my favorite offenses of the night. I'll get on to the other players as I go down the lineup, but you know, if I put a mini stack of Seattle Mariners in there, I think Zunino at a price tag of 2,300 will open up space for me to put in other players that I like. But that's just a punt play. If I just look at the catcher position in general, I think Wilson Ramos is a good play. Evan Gattis always at home. He's a good play always. Brian McCann got the power. Through my research, Suzuki for the Minnesota Twins, he has a good history. He has a history against Salazar. He got at least one career home run against him, so he could be an option. He's 2,200, and that's about it for the catcher position. It's really weak. I think Ramos may be the best catcher on the slate, but for me, I think it's a position that I just kind of want to punt at. And for now, I'm gonna go with Mike Zunino. And just try to use him as part of like a mini stack I have with the Seattle Mariners. Moving on to the first base position. My favorite first baseman that I want to use tonight for tournaments is Kendrick Morales for Kendrick Morales for the Kansas City Royals. He's at a good price at below $3,000 for $2,800. He has a favorable history against Chris Archer. He's batting .615 with one home run. I'm not sure how many at bats. I believe it's maybe like 13, but I may be incorrect on that. But I believe that a lot of people are going to pick Chris Archer tonight because of his strikeout upside. And for tournaments, I think a perfect way for me to attack it is to pick players that's going up against Chris Archer. And Kendrick Morales, at his price tag, I think he's a good play. This season, he has 16 home runs, so he has a little bit of power. Although, Tropicana Field is a big ballpark, a quote-unquote pitcher's ballpark, I just like the history he has against Archer. Archer has been known to give us some home runs, so Morales is my favorite play tonight at first base. As we know, first base is a position that is pretty much almost stacked every night. Other possible plays you can consider, I think Paul Goldschmidt at 3,700. That's a good price for someone of his talents playing at home. Goldsmith would be a good play. Edwin Encarnacion, I think the Blue Jay players, I think their prices are just inflated tonight. With him along with Donaldson and Bautista, they all got high price tags. But I do think the Blue Jays is another offense that you could stack if you can afford to fit, their high price players in your lineup. I don't know. I don't really like Rizzo in a lefty-lefty matchup, even though he's proven that it doesn't matter if he's facing the right-handed or left-handed pitcher, he can hit home runs. But he's a viable option. Napoli is a viable option at home against the rookie pitcher from Minnesota. Santana also for the Cleveland Indians. There are a lot of first basemen on the board tonight, but I wanted to mainly for this position. I looked at the salary price, and at 2,800 with a favorable history, Morales is the first baseman that I like right now to play for tournaments tonight. I'm gonna move on to the next position, second base. This guy's pretty much a lock for me at second base because of his salary price and his potential. Ryan Schimpf for the San Diego Padres at 2,700. I think that price is just too good to pass up. The way he's been, batting, the last couple of weeks, I think he deserved like a 3,000 or more price tag. And at 2,700 in a lefty versus righty matchup, and not to mention the wind is supposed to be blowing out a little to right field tonight, I think Schimpf is the perfect play at second base. If you don't want to go with Schimpf, good plays. If you do that Cleveland Indians stat, Jason Kipnis is good. Jose Altuve is always a viable option. Segura leading off at home, although he's going against Strasburg. Um, Logan Forsythe, lefty versus righty matchup, and he's leading off. Um, yeah, that's all I see at second base. Through my research, Brian Dozier, he has a good history against Salazar. Um, he's batting a career of 476 with 2 career home runs against Salazar. So if you're looking for someone with a good history versus Salazar and you want to go against him, if you think the Twins can put up some runs, Dozier is a great play tonight. He's also leading off. Dozier, he typically bats second or third or even fourth in the lineup, but tonight they have him leading off. So Dozier could be a great tournament play because a lot of people might be scared to put him in the lineup because of Salazar pitching. But like I said, for me, I'm paying down for this position again, and I'm going with Ryan Schimpf of the San Diego Padres. Moving on to third base. Third baseman that I like tonight is Chris Bryant playing at home against the Miami Marlins and a left-handed pitcher in Adam Conley. I don't think these players ever faced each other before, but Chris Bryant, he's just a great player. The price tag is kind of high, 4,300, but you got to spend your money at certain positions somewhere, and this is where I decided to spend mine. I look at the rest of the third basemen that you can consider. Donaldson is definitely a good play. His price tag is 4,800. Through my research, I believe he's 3 for 5 against Doug Fister with 3 doubles, and they're at a good park at Minute Maid Park, so it's possible that Donaldson could get a home run, maybe 2. But one thing that I read was he left the game yesterday because he had a hamstring injury. So I don't know how much that will affect him tonight, but that could affect his power, maybe or maybe not. But at 4,800, I just couldn't fit him in my lineup, and I think Chris Bryant, he definitely have the upside, to perform well tonight at home. Of course, y'all know Chris Bryant, he does have a 3 home run game earlier this season, so hopefully he can get something like that tonight. Others at third base that I think you could possibly consider for tournaments, definitely Evan Longoria. He's starting to swing a good bat. He's at home in a righty versus lefty matchup against Duffy for Kansas City, and he has favorable history against Duffy. He doesn't have any home runs, but he have a good batting average. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I wrote him down in my research. And at third base, if you wanted to punt at third base, I guess you could get that guy Bregman for Houston at 2,500. He's batting second in the lineup tonight, so if you wanted to spin down at third base, that could be an option where you could punt, at third base. All right, we're going to keep it moving. The shortstop position, this was mainly a salary decision for me. I'm going with Addison Russell. Again, he's batting 5th tonight, righty versus lefty matchup at home in Wrigley Field. Since I got Chris Bryant in my lineup, I thought it would be nice to, just pair another Chicago Cub up with him. I guess that's like a mini stack. But through my research, the Miami pitcher, Adam Conley, this is his first career game at Wrigley Field. And certain ballparks, in my opinion, just have a mystique about them, like Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, and I think Wrigley Field is one of one of the parks also, where opposing players, they just kind of get nervous and don't perform well when they come to these parks. And I think Adam Conley might struggle tonight. The Cubs are a good team. Wrigley Field is a historic ballpark, and when I consider those factors, Addison Russell at a good price tag of 2,700, I think he's a great play at the shortstop position. Other shortstops on the slate tonight that you could definitely consider for tournaments: Xander Bogaerts, righty versus lefty matchup. He averaged the most fantasy points out of all shortstops on the slate tonight. Villar, let me see. Villar, switch hitter, going up against Nelson. I'm sorry, not Nelson, Cosart for the Padres. He could be a good play. Carlos Correa at home. I can't never get that guy right, but maybe he might have one of the good nights where he put up at least 20 fantasy points. Definitely Francisco Lindor. I think the Cleveland Indians are a good stack tonight. I'm just not sure how to stack up their team because they're so well balanced. I just really don't know how to stack them. I mean, if that makes sense. But Lindor, great play for tournaments tonight. And other than that, that's about all I see at the shortstop position, for tournaments and GPPs tonight. But Addison Russell, he's likely to be the play for me in my lineup tonight. And moving on to the last position of outfield, one of my favorite positions because it's a lot of power out in the outfield. My lock of the night, as long as he's in the starting lineup, y'all probably already know this from one of my previous videos. Nelson Cruz, the lefty killer. He hit a home run last night. Nelson Cruz is a streaky player. Rodriguez, he's not that great of a player, although he's been pitching pretty good in his last couple of starts. But I just have to go with Nelson Cruz at 3,900 price tag. I think he gets a home run out tonight because when he comes up to bat, he swings for the fences. And, I'm banking on him just, getting one out tonight at home. Since he hit one last night, hopefully he's in a little groove and, can swing a good bat tonight. So Nelson Cruz is one of the outfielders that I like tonight. And the second outfielder that I like, a lot of my friends that I've talked to today had this same player, Gutierrez of the Seattle Mariners, Franklin Gutierrez. I saw the Sunday night baseball game last night. I believe they said he had like 9 or 10 home runs on the season, and 8 of them had been against left-handed pitchers. So being that, Rodriguez is a lefty, I think Gutierrez is a good play tonight in the outfield position. I think his price tag is kind of high at 3,500, but if he happens to hit a home run, then it's worth the cost. So with Gutierrez, Nelson Cruz, and Zunino, that's my mini Seattle Mariners stack. I really, really like those 3 players tonight. Hopefully the catcher Zunino starts, and I think that stack has a lot of home run upside and just a lot of total fantasy point potential in general tonight. The last outfielder that I picked tonight, I kind of, hesitated and debated with myself about putting this guy in, but I'm gonna take a chance on him. He is a former All-Star, and that's Lorenzo Cain for the Kansas City Royals. He's batting third tonight, and he has a very nice history versus Chris Archer. In 7 at-bats, he's batting .714 with 1 career home run. Cain, he also has the ability to steal bases. So if he get on base, maybe he steal a couple, or if he gets on second or something, if it's a base hit, he can get a run, or if he on third base, he might score off a sac fly. But batting third tonight against Chris Archer, who's been inconsistent, I think Lorenzo Cain is a good play in the outfield at 3,600. I realize it's kind of a risk because Chris Archer could have a monster game tonight, but so far this year he's just proven that he's been inconsistent. So with Lorenzo Kane and Kendrys Morales, that's a little pair that I have from the Kansas City Royals. Then I have a pair with from the Cubs with Bryant and Addison Russell, and I have a mini stack with Seattle Mariners with Gutierrez, Nelson Cruz, and Mike Zunino. So that's basically how I got my lineup filled in right now. May make some adjustments based on what information come out on starting lineups. Um, just to go through the other outfield positions who could be possible good tournament plays. Saunders for the Toronto Blue Jays, Michael Saunders. He's a lefty versus righty. He got a little pop in his bat. 19 home runs this season. He could be a good tournament play. I had to choose between him and Lorenzo Kane, and for now I got Kane, but I may go back to Saunders. I'm not sure yet. All of the Blue Jays really, Bautista, Saunders, they're all good plays. A Blue Jays stack might really win it tonight because it seemed like they're getting back on track, scoring runs. Mookie Betts, always a great tournament play. He averaged the most points for outfielders on the slate tonight. Righty versus lefty matchup. Stolen base upside, score runs, home runs, extra base hits. If you can fit Mookie Betts in there, don't hesitate about it. He's always a good play. George Springer. I guess because he's at home, good player, good tournament play. Bryce Harper, I don't really like to play him right now because he really don't get pitched to. He walks a lot, and it just don't seem like he's the same player he was to start the season. So Bryce Harper is someone that I'm kind of not interested in tonight. I think Dexter Fowler is a good play tonight, leading off switch hitter. I think Conley's going to struggle tonight. Fowler also has a lot of speed on the bases, so Dexter Fowler would also be a great tournament play tonight at a price tag of $3,800, which isn't too bad. Giancarlo Stanton, he always a good play, but I'm not messing with any Marlins tonight because, like I said, Kyle Hendricks is my favorite pitcher, so I'm not touching any Marlins. And just going through the slate, I really haven't talked about the Mets and the Yankees game. I'm not interested in it at all. I think there may be some possible weather concerns, but overall, I just didn't see anything appealing to me from that game. Oh, yeah, I got to tell y'all about this. If you want to save money, I think David Peralta at outfield for the Arizona Diamondbacks at 2,200 is a great play if you need to save money. He has a good history against Strasburg. In 4 at-bats, he's 750, batting 750, 3 for 4, 1 career home run. Lefty versus righty matchup, a lot of people won't pick Peralta because of the fact that Strasburg is on the mound. But if you need to save money at a position, put David Peralta in there. It's a good play, trust me. And I think that's about it for, the outfield position. And just to go over, my lineup strategy or my take on or thoughts on the lineup for FanDuel tonight. Again, Kyle Hendricks is my favorite play tonight because of his salary price and his success this season playing at Wrigley Field. If you don't like Kyle Hendricks, I think Danny Salazar is a great play. The win security is high. He's a good pitcher. The Twins aren't that good of a team. Strasburg could also be a good play, but I don't like picking pitchers on the road. Chris Archer could be a good play. High strikeout upside. Pitcher's ballpark. And if you want to be very, very sneaky, Jim Nelson for the Milwaukee Brewers could be a good play. And as far as my position players, the rest of my lineup, um, the offense that I'm targeting around stacking tonight is the Seattle Mariners. I love Nelson Cruz. I love Gutierrez. I love Mike Zunino. So I like the Mariners, and I like the Cubs, and I kind of like the Kansas City Royals. They're the World Series champs, but they haven't been playing like it this season. But I like them tonight. Outside of my lineup, I think the Indians are a great team to stack if you know how to do it. Um, Boston Red Sox, and it was another team on here. Let me see. Oh yeah, sorry. The Toronto Blue Jays, with all their power hitters playing at that ballpark. Those are three other offenses that I think could be viable stacks to win you some money tonight. Um, like if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I don't want to make it too long. So just want to thank everybody for taking the time out to just listen to my thoughts and strategies on the slate tonight. Make sure you search the hashtag BeTheBestDFS on social media. We just got up on Twitter. You can follow us at BeTheBestDFS. On Facebook, search hashtag BeTheBestDFS. And same thing on YouTube, hashtag BeTheBestDFS. Just trying to win this money. We're going to just keep grinding every night. I'm going to keep doing my research, keep sharing my information with y'all. And, sooner or later, hopefully we can make a come up. But that's all I got for today. Make sure you check the weather reports, check the starting lineups. And I'm going to leave y'all with this, man. Like I always say, just try to be the best. All right.